Good morning, students. Today we begin with a poem titled Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. The poem is available in your textbook. And let me tell you first, this is a poem which you need not study. This is a poem which makes you understand how to analyze a poem, how to read a poem, and how to understand the meaning, the themes, and a style of a poem. Basically, this is only a basic understanding of a poem. You need not study this poem. So, how will you analyze this poem, Still I Rise by Maya Angelou? So, let us first look at the author. The author, Maya Angelou, she is named as the America's most visible black female autobiographer. So, she is the most visible black female autobiographer. She has actually published she has actually published 7 autobiographies and 3 books of essays and several books of poetry. So, she is the one who has wrote the most number of autobiographies, and among them the most famous, all these autobiographies were famous, and among that the first one, titled I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, it tells of her life up to the age of 17, which it brought her a kind of international recognition and acclaim. So it is still the best seller. And look at Maya Angelou. She was a poet, civil rights activist, dancer, film producer, television producer, playwright, film director, author, actress, professor, and whatnot. She has donned different roles, and she had successfully took all these roles. So she is one of the noted figures in America. And now we come to the poetry. As I said earlier, look at those lines and try to understand the meaning. In your exam, from your exam point of view, I will tell you that you will be given some kind of a poetry and you may have to write an analysis of the poem. So here comes the first 4 lines. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I will rise. So, this is a poem. As I said earlier, this is a poem by Maya Angelou, and she was an American civil rights activist. And this is one of the acclaimed works, Still I Rise, is one of the acclaimed works of Maya Angelou. And this poem is actually an assertion of the dignity, and it is talking about the self-esteem of all those marginalized people in the face of oppression. So you may know this racism which existed there, the discrimination against these black people. So here there is this assertion of black people against this oppression they had gone through all these centuries. So here we see in the first line itself, you may write me down in history. So there is an address. ആരോടോ ആണ് പറയുന്നത്. You may. It is the speaker is addressing someone. So the speaker is addressing someone as you, and you is obviously is clearly the oppressor, the one who oppressed them all these centuries. So here in this conversation, we see the speaker speaking to a you, which is the oppressor, and it reveals an antagonistic relationship. Antagonistic is something like opposite. So speaker is on one side, and the other side there is this you who is completely opposite to the speaker. So here the speaker is a black woman, and she is addressing her oppressor as you. And this black woman says that she accepts that her oppressor has the power to write lies about the speaker, and this oppressor were in all these centuries, they were presenting all these lies as historical facts, as truth. നിങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങളെ പറ്റി കുറേയധികം നുണകൾ ഈ പറയുന്ന സത്യം എന്നുള്ള നിലയിൽ പ്രചരിപ്പിച്ചു. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. And with that bitter, twisted lies, you were oppressing us. You may trod me in the very dirt. So, you here represents the society as a whole, the society which oppresses this black people, and they may suppress me in that very dirt. But here, the black woman, the representative of black society, she says that, but still like dust I will rise. So here there is this assertion that you cannot oppress me. You cannot tell all those lies, and don't think that you can suppress me with all those lies. You may have the ability to shape the history. You are the ones who are writing history. നിങ്ങൾക്കാണ്. ആരാണ് ചരിത്രം എഴുതുന്നത്? ചരിത്രം എഴുതുന്നതെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അധികാരമുള്ളവരാരോ അവരാണ് ചരിത്രം എഴുതുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ആ ചരിത്രം എഴുതുന്ന നിങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങളെപ്പറ്റി നുണകൾ എഴുതിയേക്കാം, ഞങ്ങളെ ഈ പറയുന്ന ചെളിയിലേക്ക് ആഴ്ത്തിയേക്കാം, പക്ഷേ ഞങ്ങൾ ഒരു പൊടി പോലെ we will rise എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. And then comes the next lines. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I have got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I will rise. So here we see the defiance in the face of oppression. Here, this speaker shows a kind of a bold defiance. And here she says that what are the things that upset you? Why are you so sad seeing my sassiness, my black nature? So here there is something like a sarcasm there. She says that the society is relentlessly trying to humiliate us, to demean us, and my sassy nature, my energetic nature fills you with gloom, and I walk like I have got oil wells pumping in my living room, seeing me so happy, so energetic, makes you so gloomy. Why is that? There is something like an element of sarcasm. ഇങ്ങനെ കളിയാക്കിയാണ് പറയുന്നത്. And just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I will rise. So she is comparing herself to nature, which is so vibrant, just like moon, just like sun, and I have the certainty of tide, and I have this hopes running high, and that makes me rise from all those oppression. You may try to crush me into the dirt. You may shoot me, you may cut me, but you will not be successful, because I am determined to rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I have got gold mines digging in my backyard? So here we see the power and beauty of blackness. She says that, do you want to see me broken? Are you happy? Whether you will be happy when you see me broken, with all those lowered eyes, with all those bowed head, and with the shoulders falling down like teardrops, and will you be happy seeing my soulful cries? And what does offend you most? What do what nature of mine offend you most? Is it my haughtiness? Is it my arrogance? Don't you take it awful hard, cause I laugh like I have got gold mines digging in my backyard. So here she says that she asks this uh, oppressor that, how do you want to see me? Do you want to see me broken? ഈ പറയുന്ന തല കുനിച്ച് കണ്ണുകൾ താഴ്ത്തി കണ്ണീരോടെ നിൽക്കുന്ന എന്നെ കാണാനാണോ നിങ്ങൾക്കിഷ്ടം? എൻ്റെ അറഗൻസ്, എൻ്റെ അഹങ്കാരം നിങ്ങളെ ചൊടിപ്പിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? എൻ്റെ ചിരി നിങ്ങളെ ചൊടിപ്പിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? നിങ്ങളെ ദേഷ്യപ്പിടിപ്പിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? സോ ഇതെല്ലാം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ദേഷ്യം പിടിക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ it is something which is wrong in your path. I am actually determined to offend you. And you may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I will rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise? That dance like I have got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. So, she says that you may have the power to shoot me with your words. You have the power to cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, with your anger. But I am determined to rise like air, rise like dust. I will rise. And what are the things which upset you? Is it my sexiness? And does it come as a surprise that I dance like I have got diamonds? So even though you oppress me, I actually celebrate my life. And does that offend you? ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ജീവിതം ആഘോഷിക്കുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ പറയുന്ന ദേഷ്യം വരുന്നുണ്ടോ? And does my sexiness, though I am black, I consider myself to be beautiful? And is it that which upset you? So these are the questions. So look at all these stanzas. They are full of questions which is directly thrown at the face of the oppressor. So the black society, they were marginalized. They were never even allowed to talk to these white people. But look at this lady, Maya Angelou. She is directly asking those questions, and that shows her self-confidence, self-respect, how she has gained that self-respect, self-esteem. And here she concludes, out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that is rooted in pain, I rise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that is wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. So here she says that she derives that strength, that resilience from her ancestors. So she is determined to rise from that history's shame. So she had at one point of time, they were going through that shameful history of racism. From that past which is rooted in pain, ആ പറയുന്ന വേദന കൊണ്ട് പുളഞ്ഞിരുന്ന ആ ഒരു പാസ്റ്റിൽ നിന്ന് I have determined to rise. Now I am a black ocean. She compares herself to a black ocean which is leaping and wide, welling and swelling. So that shows the movement of the ocean. And she is determined to leave behind all those nights of terror, all those fear. She had gone through all these centuries. Her society had gone through all these centuries. And into a daybreak which is the representative of hope. Hope, that is a daybreak which is very clear. I rise and I am taking with me all those gifts my ancestors gave me. And now I am the dream, I am the hope of the slaves who had gone through this oppression. And she repeats these lines, I rise, I rise, I rise. So it is a kind of a continuously progressing, and how she is determined to overcome all those barriers which these white society had formed, had kept for these black people. So here, this is the way you analyze a poem. So this poem is basically, as I said earlier, this poem is actually an assertion of the dignity and self-confidence of these black society, and Maya Angelou becomes a representative of that black society. So it is something like a critique of all those anti-black racism. She, as I said earlier, she is a civil rights movement, civil rights activist, and she has written a lot of works which deals with this theme of racism. And here we see the confidence and the dignity she wants these black people to achieve in the face of oppression. Hope it is clear. Please go through this poem once more, and thank you, girls. Have a nice day.